I am a 23-year-old millionaire, and I've written out the 7 micro habits that I've done in my daily life to get here. I dropped out of college after 1 semester. I came from a big family on welfare and had no background in business or real estate, unless you count the lemonade stand that I had when I was a kid. But by 23 years old, I've been able to build a business that has generated over $15 million. And honestly, it wasn't because I had some secret or special advantage. I've been able to generate so much in my businesses because of these tiny daily habits that most people would think are too simple to matter. But when you do them consistently, they compound into real wealth. And by wealth, I don't just mean money. I mean a healthy life, the kind of life where you can help others and actually have choices. So the first micro habit that I want to touch on today is building relationships before you actually need them. In today's society, it has become so common to be hyper independent. Many people are too scared to talk to others. They think that kindness is something that's earned. They're worried about supporting others in fear that it changes what they have to offer. But I focus on genuinely building relationships with others. I'm not afraid to compliment the people around me, support them, tell them I'm proud of them. I'm open to giving others advice and helping when needed. I do this because it's what people should do. And because we are all just humans. We're not competing with anyone except ourselves. I realize that if more people did this, things would be better. The world would be a better place. Naturally, because of this, when I do need to make an ask, like a favor, a partnership, a referral, people actually want to help because I've already shown them that I care about them, not just what they can do for me. I don't necessarily do this as a systematic habit, but I do build genuine relationships with others. Normally, favors or partnerships come easily for me because I've already built these genuine relationships. Most people get this backwards. They often reach out to people only when they need something, and then they wonder why they don't respond. I'm a firm believer in giving what you want to get back. Be kind, smile, help others. It costs you nothing. This mindset has genuinely helped me build relationships with landlords, potential partners, and even my audience. When I finally do make an ask, people are excited to help because I've already given so much value and built genuine connections. So here's how you can apply this. Number 1, take the opportunities that you're given to support others or help when you can. Understand the people that add value to your life in a positive way. They are usually people who push you to become the best version of yourself. Reach out to 1 to 2 people per week just to add value to their life. This could mean congratulating them during special times, sharing helpful information, telling them about opportunities, or even facilitating connections that might help them. Check in genuinely without asking for anything. Just like you, people want to be seen, they want to be heard, they want to be loved. By doing these things, naturally, when you do need to make an ask later, people actually want to help. The beautiful thing is, it doesn't feel like networking because it's genuinely about helping others. And most people need help. They're just afraid to ask for it. But even with great relationships, things don't always go according to plan. That's where the next habit is crucial. Habit 2 is turning every failure into a learning lesson. When something doesn't work out the way I planned, I pay attention to what I can learn from it instead of just getting discouraged. Everything I've done in the past has built skills that I'm still using today. Even the things that didn't work out the way that I wanted taught me something that I could genuinely take with me and brought me to where I am now. When I first started Airbnb, it felt easy, and then somewhere along the way it got a little bit harder. And instead of getting discouraged, I had to figure out what wasn't working. Was it the landlord? Was it the property? Was it the photos, the price, the description, the location? This helped me create a system that now gets our properties booked at 65% occupancy most of the time. When I first started coaching and my offer didn't sell as expected, instead of thinking I'm a horrible coach or I suck at sales, I actually created a presentation that led me to $180,000 on a single free class. So here's how you can apply this. After any setbacks, spend 5 minutes thinking about what you learned. Frame everything as an experiment with a learning goal, not just a success or failure. Ask yourself, what would I do differently next time? Use this information to make your next attempt smarter and not harder. This removes the emotional sting from setbacks and keeps you moving forward. But as you grow, you'll start noticing that you're doing the same tasks over and over again. And that's when this next habit is essential. Habit 3 is to automate and delegate as soon as possible and as much as possible. When you start to feel overwhelmed or notice I'm doing the same tasks repeatedly, ask, how could I create a system for this or have someone else help me? It's not like I do this every week on a schedule, but when I'm starting to feel overwhelmed or when I notice that I'm doing a task that maybe someone else could take over or help me with, I try to look for a replacement or a system. This leaves me more time to focus on the things that I actually need to be doing. In my Airbnb business, this led to automated messaging, streamlined cleaning processes, and systems that now allow me to manage over 50 properties in my portfolio in less than a couple hours per week. In my coaching business, this led me to email sequences, automations, team members, and even processes that onboard my students without me having to personally walk each person through everything. This is how I suggest you apply this. When you feel overwhelmed, take 10 minutes to look at your week. Identify repetitive tasks that you do multiple times. Ask, what could I automate or delegate? Start small. Even automating one email response counts. Track the time that you save and reinvest that into growth activities. The goal isn't to automate everything immediately. It's to build the habit of thinking systematically so that you avoid unnecessary overwhelm. Speaking of managing overwhelming feelings, this brings me to one of the most important habits that I've developed. Habit 4 is going to be feeling the emotions that you feel and moving forward anyway. I read a quote that says, the person who does what they need to do regardless of how they feel will always outperform the person who does it only when they feel like doing it. I know that sounds weird, so let me explain what I mean. When I feel overwhelmed or any difficult emotion, I give myself space to feel how I feel, but I realize that just because I feel that way doesn't mean that I have to stop doing the things that I need to do. I had to learn this the hard way after I lost my brother Khalil at just 16 years old. To be honest, it didn't happen right away. There was a lot of downtime for me trying to figure out what was important. A lot of nights spent crying. I didn't care as much about school. I distanced myself from other people. I literally wore sweatpants and a hoodie every single day and walked around the halls with my earphones in. My outlet for the way that I felt at that time was through art. And so the class that I put the most effort in was my art class. But still, even though I didn't care as much for the other things, I knew that I had no choice but to continue going. So I kept good grades. I made sure to keep doing what I needed to do. I went to work, but I still left space to grieve the way that I needed to grieve. And that did take up a lot of space. With the little bit of space that I had left and the little bit of mental capacity that I had left, I tried to do as much as I could do in that time frame and with the space that I had. But it wasn't easy by any means. If I need to be sad for a second, I'll be sad. If I feel overwhelmed, I take some deep breaths, I try to move forward. Maybe I'll take a little break to reset, but regardless, I still have to do the things that I need to do regardless of how I feel. So here's how you can apply this. When you notice strong emotions, don't fight them, acknowledge them. Give yourself permission to feel what you're feeling. Ask yourself, what action would actually help me get closer to my goals? Take breaks when you need them. Don't let emotions completely stop your progress. Find healthy outlets for processing difficult feelings. This builds emotional resilience, which is honestly one of your biggest advantages as an entrepreneur. And speaking of building resilience, staying connected to gratitude has been huge for me. This leads me to habit number 5, thanking God in everything that I do. I'm a person who is extremely grateful. I try to find gratitude in everything that I do and everything that I have. I am constantly trying to remind myself of the things that I'm grateful for, even during the tough times. For example, my planner has a spot that says gratitude. And when I'm writing out my tasks for the week or the things that I need to do for the day, I also try to write in that area. Often it's the same things. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my family, for my mind, for my heart. I'm grateful for having a roof over my head and for having organic food in my fridge, for having love and support, and for having motivation. Even being Muslim, prayer has been huge for me because every time I pray, I also thank God for the things that He's given me. This comes from a place of gratitude. This keeps me grounded in my progress while staying connected to my bigger purpose. The gratitude part keeps me from always focusing on what's missing or what went wrong. It helps me find meaning and momentum even during the hardest times. You can practice gratitude by doing simple things. Find natural moments throughout your day and acknowledge what you're grateful for. You could spend some time once during the weekend before the week starts writing down 3 things that make you feel grateful. Be specific about what you are grateful for and why you are grateful for it. Use whatever practice works for you, whether it's prayer, journaling, mental notes. Keep coming back to gratitude, especially when things get challenging. This builds resilience and helps you maintain perspective even when growth feels slow. And when you create something you're proud of, this habit determines whether or not people actually gain something from it. Habit 6 has been a hard one for me, but it's about putting out work that is good, not work that is perfect. When something I have could genuinely help people and I've done my best with it, I put it out there. I can always improve it later, but I can't help anyone while it sits on my computer. Now, I'm kind of opposite of most people. I am very much someone who pays extremely close attention to detail, and I don't like to put out bad work because I feel like it's my reputation, and I like to do the best in everything that I do. Sometimes Sometimes I do have a hard time putting things out there, especially if I don't love them, but I've been learning that everything is not always going to be 100%. As long as I'm trying my best and doing my best and growing and getting better as I go, that's enough and that's okay, and I have to put it out there regardless. Before I continue, I want to clarify that I'm not saying to put out sloppy work or half try and just put things out there. Do the absolute best that you can, and once you've done that, put it out there even if it's not perfect. I now realize that I have to try my best and make things the best that I can be. And even if they're not perfect, even if they're not 100%, if I've done the best that I can, I have to put it out there regardless. As you go through the journey, just continue to grow and get better because no one starts off perfect. My first coaching program was not perfectly polished. My early Airbnb properties didn't have the best design, but they worked. They performed, they helped people, and I was able to improve them based on real feedback instead of imaginary problems. So to practice this, you can do your absolute best with the time and resources that you have. When you've genuinely tried your best, just put it out there. Remember that waiting until everything is 100% perfect won't really get you anywhere because you're going to be constantly growing. Plan to grow and improve based on real user feedback. Don't just make up hypothetical concerns, and start with smaller launches to build confidence in this approach. This accelerated my business growth more than any other thing, especially when starting. I had to put out a lot of stuff that were not perfect. When I first started creating content, when I first made my first ever course, it was hard, but I had to put it out there. With time, I could grow and improve as I got feedback from others. So as an entrepreneur, putting out good work is only a part of the equation. If you're solving a problem or offering a solution, you also need to make sure that it's actually what people want. So this leads me to habit 7. Habit 7 is what I call the customer POV check. When I'm trying to improve in my business, I often ask, if I were my customer right now, what would make me choose us over our competition? This isn't something that I do every day, but it's something I do often anytime I'm trying to grow or improve. For me, it's not really always about my competition though. It's really just about me. I just want to put out the best that I possibly can. And if I know it's not my best, I try to get better because at the end of the day, you are your biggest competition. For my Airbnb properties, this led to adding specific amenities that travelers actually wanted instead of what I just thought looked nice. For my coaching business, it helped me understand that people cared more about getting results quickly rather than having access to 100 hours of training modules. I often try to focus on, will my customer actually have a good chance at succeeding with what I'm offering? Is there anything that I can do better? How can I get my customer to a better success rate? Is there anything more I can do as a coach? So here's how you can apply this. Pick one aspect of your business when you have time to really think about it. Imagine you're a potential customer seeing your offer for the very first time. Ask, what would make me choose this offer over other options? Focus on what creates real value for them, not just what's convenient for you. And ask yourself, how can I actually help my customers succeed and be better? This keeps you connected to your customer's real experience, not just your assumptions about what they want. Speaking of staying connected to who you want to become, I'm going to give you guys one bonus habit today. Habit 8, our bonus habit, is creating daily evidence of who you want to be. You get to decide who you want to be. So I decide who I want to be, and then I work every day to get there, and I pray about it. I believe that at the end of the day, God is the one who has power over all things. But I also believe that we are humans and we were given free will to go after the things that we want and work to achieve the things that we want to achieve. So as I do the things that I'm supposed to do every day, I'm constantly building the identity of who I want to be next. It's crazy because here I am 4 years into this business. And when I look back at each phase I was in and the type of person that I was, I am the same person, but I've grown so much as an entrepreneur, as a founder, as a businesswoman, and my lifestyle has increased. I've grown a lot. I've been able to travel the world. I live in a beautiful home, and it's beautiful to see that progress. Day by day, you don't always see the life that you're wanting to build, but when you look back over a period of time, you realize where you were a year ago, 2 years ago, 3, or even 4 years ago. Thinking of my own life, I'm now in a completely different spot than I was 5 years ago, and what a beautiful thing that is. It is kind of sad letting go of chapters, but it's also such an amazing thing to be able to continue moving forward, growing, trying new things, because at the end of the day, we're just trying things, and even if it doesn't work out, at least you tried. And if it does work out, what a beautiful blessing that is. To practice this, I suggest decide specifically who you want to be. Is it a successful entrepreneur, a confident leader, a philanthropist? Every day, work towards becoming that person through your actions. Don't just say it, but do it. Build evidence through your choices choices and behaviors, big and small, and then take time to reflect on who you've grown into when you look back. Remember that growth happens gradually. You might not see these huge jumps day by day, but just trust the process even when you can't see the daily changes. This reprograms your self-concept over time, which changes everything about how you show up in the world. These micro habits might seem simple, and you might be thinking, that's it? That's the secret? But wealth building isn't some secret formula. It's about being willing to do these simple things consistently when everyone else is just looking for a magic bullet. So pick one of these habits and commit to it over the next 30 days. Start so small that it feels almost silly not to do it. Remember, we're not trying to impress anyone. We're genuinely trying to change our lives. Sometimes the habits that you already have are the biggest things standing between you and the life that you want. So I made a video breaking down the 5 specific habits keeping you broke. You can watch that next to see which wealth blocking habits might be holding you back. The video should pop up on the screen. It's the perfect follow-up to what we've just covered because knowing what to do is only half of the battle. I hope you guys loved the video today. I was trying something new, writing out all of my thoughts and reading from there. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.